Okay, hi everyone, Vickie Verley here, Rock and Roll Prophetess. And we're going to take a look at the new moon chart for February, which is in the sign of Aquarius, 19 degrees Aquarius, sun and moon, 1916. And it's at 9:39 a.m. Eastern time, but of course times will vary. I actually I finally splurged and bought a new landline phone. And I can turn the ringer off. So we're going to do that. All right, so here it is. Sun and Moon, 19 Aquarius. It's squaring a bunch of stuff, isn't it? Yeah, it's squaring Mars, and it's squaring the Ascendant. That doesn't really count. And then there's Uranus square Pluto. Well, it's squaring off with Mars, which is kind of in that, it's conjunct Juno over here. But it's also opposing, well, it's not actually opposing, it's like an inconjunct or something, this Jupiter node thing. All right, well, let's get one thing at a time. Here it is. In the sign of Aquarius. So this is freedom. You know, that's just freedom. Freedom from restraints. Freedom from conventionality. Being unique. Being different. Technology, ideas, space. Astrology. You know, astronomy, astrology, space, everything. All this forward-thinking ways has to do with the sign of Aquarius, which is what we're dealing with here. And it's also Uranus rules Aquarius. Okay, so Uranus is over here. They're counting the Pluto square in there. How far out is it now? Where is that Pluto anyway? Yeah, it's pretty on there. It's 1 degree out. But also then Uranus is trining Saturn. Isn't there a Jupiter-Saturn thing too? Yeah, Jupiter-Saturn. You know, both in natal charts, when either Uranus, I've experienced both. I've had Uranus go over my Saturn, and everybody has Jupiter go over their Saturn once every 12 years. It maybe won't experience the Uranus over the Saturn because it's a longer transit. But I've had both. And I'll tell you what, as Saturn is such a, can be such an onus or this heavy thing that's weighing you down, this responsibility a lot of times, you might associate with the Saturn energy. Uranus lifts that up. It really lifts that off your back. And a Jupiter to Saturn thing also lifts it up. Releases the burdens, makes it lighter, lifts things off your back. So both of these, there's a heavy tie into Saturn, not necessarily, it's sextiling. It's sextiling Saturn. Saturn is more, to me, the focal point of this chart than the new moon point here. Because we have the Uranus trining it, Jupiter squaring it, Jupiter and the node squaring it. So there's an opportunity to lighten your load. And that would be true for the Aquarius energy just in general. There's an opportunity to lift burdens be gone. You might want to look at Saturn or Sagittarius in your natal chart, and that could be a clue as to where these burdens may be lifted. Like I was speaking of just before, my natal Saturn is on my 4th house, right on my IC. So every time I had these transits over my Saturn there, it always had to do with where I was living, or moving or selling a house, or these kind of things. Those were the burdens that were lifted for me because it was in my 4th house of where I live, right? But of course it would be different for everybody. But I feel like that's really, really strong. That you could feel some lifting here. We could feel pressure lifting. And with Uranus and Aquarius energy, it could come out of nowhere. It could be one way the one day and different the next day. In the blink of an eye, in a flash, everything could change. So sudden drastic changes, but not necessarily for the bad. And if it does seem like it's bad at the time, because we have all this higher stuff going on here, I would say that even if it seems to you like, oh, that's, it felt really, it felt bad, or it wasn't what I was wanting, know that in the long run, or the big picture, it probably is for your highest good. Because that's another thing about Aquarius. It's more about the highest good. It's also ruler of the 11th house, and that is friends and associates. That's money from the career. So it could have to do with groups and friends and things like that. This Jupiter node thing is traveling so close. I mean, it's on. It's really on. And this is a call to action. This is a call to awaken to our true potential. Look at the details with Virgo. Look at the details of the path you're on. You can't look at it from a superficial, because the opposite sign, of course, is Pisces. That's where the South Node is, and Chiron. These are the things that we're healing. But you can't just look at it blasé or just superficial. Or another thing, this isn't going to allow you to sweep things under the rug. That's another vibe I get out of this. It's time to really get in there and dig in and look. Or even, at this time of year, maybe a lot of us are doing our taxes. And maybe you have them all in a pile or in a folder or in an envelope. And it's like, okay, let's pull out those things and really get in and start, analyzing it and getting scrutinizing. Virgo is very much the energy of scrutiny. And it's going to make things better. It's going to align you with your true path. Okay, what else is going on with this chart? Mercury conjunct... Oh, Venus conjunct Mercury. Where's that at? Up here, yeah, with Pluto. Well, this Mercury's been hovering around this Pluto for a little while here, and this is, that's, I've said, watch what you say. Your words could be power. Words will be powerful, and that could be, will be. Words will be powerful. And, so think before you speak, That's a thing of Capricorn, though. Slow, deliberate. Capricorns aren't usually running off at the mouth like that. So there is that element of that. Just because it's in the sign of Capricorn, there could be that vibration is kind of already present. But Venus is there too. Venus and Mercury together is always highly creative, because Venus is creative expression and love and creativity and money. But Mercury is communicating it. So with Venus and these two, it's like things that are creative and of the realm of Venus can be expressed through Mercury. There'll be expression of creative thoughts and ideas with Mercury. And the full moon in Aquarius is very much related to ideas and ideals. And I think it's Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury, if I'm not mistaken. So there's like a tie-in. It's very mental energy, okay? In the grounded sign of Capricorn. So, and with Pluto there too. So it's like, it's time to get to work on these ideas. Like me, I fill up my notebooks, or I had my box of tapes for years of all the songs, bits I had written. And I have cassettes full on both sides, and then I throw it in a box. And then we went digital, and then I had a folder full of digital files. And I have notebooks full of, so it's take these folders on your computer of all your ideas, or on your phone, or your notebooks, or whatever you use to jot things down, or, quick. Mercury's quick. Let's just write it down real quick, or, make a real quick note. And it's time to maybe pull some of those out. Take a look. What do we got here? How can we really put in effort and work and to make it more than just a little idea, a little scrap, into a full-blown project or song or book or lecture or blog or whatever, whatever you want to make it into. And then with the power of Pluto being here, it could really go through a big way. Pluto is big money. Pluto, this is industrious. This is also this energy, even though it's like Venus and Mercury, it's so light and, it's so creative and light and airy and, lovely and all this. Capricorn's like, roll up your sleeves and get down to work. Virgo is like, roll up your sleeves and get down to work. And this stuff is trining that Jupiter node also. This Venus-Mercury conjunction with the Pluto, it's trining here. So it's a time of, of work, but it could result in great accomplishment. It's not chasing your tail around in a circle. It's not that kind of toiling kind of work. It's work that could really result in something. Pluto, big. Change your world. Pluto will change your world. It'll rock your world, baby. Okay, so let's look over here. Besides Uranus is with Vesta. Again, that's that grain, the goddess of the grain. No, it's not. That's Ceres, excuse me. Vestal virgins. I just went right to grain, though, and food and stuff. Well, Vestal virgins could be conceived as purity, right? be pure. And that's making an opposition to Lilith here. So talk about Madonna whore. There it is, you know. Vesta is the Madonna and Lilith's the whore, right? I'm not calling Lilith the whore. I like Lilith, but I mean, it's that iconic, you know, those icons or whatever you would want to call it. You know, those that represent those. You know what I mean? Not icons. There's a word for it. This escapes me at the moment, but yeah. So there's that opposite, and it's the opposite energy of Libra, which is also very feminine, gentle, peaceful, and Aries, the warrior, Mars, charge ahead. It's almost like opposite, you know, it is. Because Libra might be more suited to Vesta, and Aries might be more suited to Lilith as far as energetic frequencies and stuff like that, you know. So that's a weird dichotomy, and that's going on here. With Libra, though, ultimately, again, we just want to find the balance. So it doesn't have to be Madonna whore. You know, Lilith isn't a whore anyway. She's a full-fledged, fully developed woman who she wasn't subservient, you know. That was her whole thing, you know. So she was much more, she was liberated. You know, she was shooting for that. I always feel about Lilith. Liberty, you know, that's Lilith. And in Libra, there's some fairness here. And I think ultimately she just wanted the fairness. You know, the whole story of Lilith is that she just wanted the fairness and the balance. So, I mean, I don't just a real worldly area. It could just be, you know, some women's rights things might come up. Some things about women's equality and things like that could come up. Women's issues, suppression of women. You know, this kind of stuff could come up. And with Uranus is involved, okay, and it's a full moon Aquarius, so this could come to light. You know, this could be revealed. It's a new moon. I just said full moon, new moon in Aquarius. Excuse me. You know, these things could be like revealed, or again with the freedom from old restraints, from old paradigm, freedom. You know, that's all I just keep hearing over my head again. Freedom. Like that dude from the Woodstock concert. There's that, you know, that one dude, he kept just saying freedom. I think he was always saying mother over and over again. There's some song from Woodstock where he's saying freedom. And I'm just kind of hearing that in my head. So it's about freedom. There could totally be, you know, upheavals, freedom fighters, you know, that kind of thing. This could be, because there is some volatile energy. I mean, we can't just blow it off like, oh, it's an Aquarius, so it's not going to be volatile. I mean, it could be. Again, with Saturn and with Pluto and Capricorn, which is a ruler of Saturn, so we're bringing in this Capricorn-Saturn energy. This is old stuff. This is totally the patriarchy. This is the old paradigm. This is the structure, the powers that be, the structure of society. It's a male energy. Saturn is paternal. It's the father. It's the patriarchy. You know, it's in the sign of Pluto, of change. And then this Saturn is just getting aspected all over the place. But, you know, it's getting Jupiter's squaring it. But this Uranus is trining it. So I'm feeling like maybe that could, like, bring in an energy or facilitate freedom that doesn't have to be all violence. Granted, it is in the sign of Aries, again, with the war and the warrior and everything. And then Mars is also squaring this moon, too. We didn't really look at that much yet. Yeah. Mars is squaring the moon in Scorpio. Mars is coming in with Juno, though, so I like that energy. Because Juno, it's almost like knows how to keep Mars busy or something. I don't know. You know, she can soften the blow or kind of appease him a little bit, you know. Sexual energy is very strong with this, because this could almost be like a Venus and Mars in Scorpio, you know. And Mars is going to be in Scorpio for a while yet. This is some ongoing energy. And again, it could boil up, you know, it could boil up and be a lot of tension, and it's passion. It's red. It's the color red. You know, it's your root chakra. It's Kundalini. So it's, you know, there's a lot of passion there. And it's up to every one of us to direct the energy. You know, you can't just say, well, I'm a passionate person, that's why I did these horrible things, or Mars is in Scorpio, that's why I behave that way. You know, we have to be accountable. You know, be accountable for ourselves on one hand, but and that's the Aries energy. But also with Aquarius, it's more of the humanitarian, and it's more of humanity. And like Libra can be more tolerant. It's, Libra is tolerant, but they actually care. Aquarius doesn't care. They're just kind of, it's not that they're uncaring, but they just don't notice it. They just, Aquarius is about raising your vibration too, big time. You raise your vibration, and then these things in the peripheral that's going on, you don't get so caught up in it anymore. That's another thing too. And that's probably the best way to be liberated from Saturn type of energy. The best way to be liberated is to, rise above it, maybe not through fighting it. We're going to fight the good fight, or, whatever. Go to the higher level. And with that, we raise all consciousness there. That's the message of Aquarius. I know it's not always easy to do, because we do live in Earth, and we do live in 3D world, and stuff does piss us off all the time. I don't care how enlightened you are. Sometimes you get pissed off. And there's lots of adjutants, aggravations and stuff in this world. But like it goes, you can notice it and let it pass. You don't have to fester on it. That's the thing about the Scorpio vibe too. It's fixed, and Aquarius is fixed too. But I think of it not as much as the other fixed signs. But Scorpio can hold a grudge. They can fester and hold on to it and stew in it. No, that rotten blah blah blah. You hear Scorpios that are in that dark energy, that lizard energy, and the gray lizard. And they're, half the time it's like, well, when did this all happen? Yeah, it was about 10 years ago. It's like, you're hanging on to this stuff for like 10 years, and you're in this dark place like that for that long. So, maybe you can feel this anger, this energy of this dark place, but you don't have to stay there. That's another thing about this Aquarius vibration, for sure. Back to the Scorpio, if you're not familiar, real quick, it's just, the lower vibration of it is the gray lizard. Or, I'm sorry, that was the scorpion energy, excuse me. The stinging scorpion is the lowest vibration. That's what I was talking, that's what I was describing, too. The vengeance. I'm going to get them. I remember, they have this vengeful thing, and they're going to sting you, And then the highest vibration is the eagle. And the eagle is the way to go with this vibe. And then the gray lizards are the in-between, But the eagle, soar above, soar to the sky, to the realm of air. That's where Aquarius is. That's the air, the sky. High in the sky like the eagle. That's always the route to go. I know it's not always easy, but, it's just something to try to maybe keep in mind as these things regurgitate up. Because Pluto and Scorpio, which is, again, same energy, Pluto rules Scorpio, is that transmutation, but it's the underworld, it's that, transformative underbelly. Things come up, things are regurgitated up when there's a heavy Scorpio. And I don't know that it's really that heavy of a Scorpio influence, but if you're in that vibe, if that's the energy that you're feeling, or is it maybe affecting you, it is digging that dirt, that going deep. It rules, it has to do with psychology and stuff like that too. Like your deep, dark secrets and all that. And Chiron is that as well. I don't know if I said this before, but with Chiron and Pisces too, it could be stuff that we've just totally been oblivious to. That we've just totally washed right over. Because it's Pisces energy, which is Neptune energy, which is illusions. We might just not see it clearly, or we might have a lot of illusions about it. And Virgo doesn't have many illusions about anything. It's really rooted in reality, and we're going to look at these things that we kind of just let fly by. It could be, your tax papers, or it could be some deep psychological stuff too. It totally could. I mean, this is almost an exact trine with Mars trine Chiron. But I like that, this trine energy and the water signs. So that says that it can go, again, it doesn't have to be painful necessarily, hopefully. It could be, it's transmuted, it's transmutation, it's transformation, it's transformative. But overall, the Aquarius energy always is take the high road, raise your vibration, Don't get caught down in the muckety muck over here. Don't get pulled into it. You don't have to get pulled into drama. You know, you just don't. And it's funny, once you do it a couple times, it really is funny to watch. It really can be like, I can have a laugh over it, you know. And people getting all angry and worked up about stuff. It's just like, you know, that doesn't hurt me. You can't touch the eagle, right? The eagle is, the other birds can't touch the eagle. You know, the eagle is the master of the air domain, and that's something we should totally be striving for as well under this new moon. But all this stuff here, I mean, great time for flashes of insight, ideas, brilliance, you know, and you have the wherewithal to really carry it out and bring it into the 3D reality with this trines to Earth and the Pluto and the Jupiter. No, make it a 3D reality. Make it a take it from the air of your ideas and your thoughts and your mind and bring it into formation of a solid foundation, which is Pluto, Saturn, and Capricorn. Is building new foundations. Okay, I did do the old camera, so we're about to run out of tape and battery. Oh, wrong thing. If you click on that thing up in the upper corner up here, that info, that's going to take you to this page. Everything is on here. You just got to scroll, scroll, scroll. That's why people sometimes can't find it. You got to keep scrolling down, including making a donation. So if you enjoy these free readings, make sure to, it'd be great to get the donations. I appreciate it. Nothing is too big or too small. On my homepage, you can find all sorts of other things, including the Creative Spirit interviews, my other channels. If you have kids, check out the Learning Songs for Kids. This is a music channel. Everything is here. Lots of good information, all for free. I want to thank everybody for liking, sharing, commenting, donating, everything you do to help keep the channel going. It's all so appreciated. Remember, you are love and beauty incarnate. Have a great February, and I'll talk to you soon.